Hello, welcome to the University of Calgary's Desire to Learn tutorial on how to manage student grades using the Grades feature. During this tutorial, we will have an overview of the grades, see how to use grade items and grade categories, set up letter grades, and calculate and release final grades to students. To begin, you first need to log in to a D2L course. From a D2L course homepage, under Assessments, choose Grades. There are 4 links at the top of the Grades page. Enter Grades, which allows you to enter in student grades. Manage Grades, where you can create and manage grade items and categories. Set up letter grades under Schemes. And work through the Setup wizard to set some initial default settings for your grades. If this is your first time in this Assessments grades for your course, you will default to the Setup wizard. I highly recommend working through the Setup wizard to set some important features such as using weighted grade system, the type of calculated or adjusted calculated final grade you want to release to students, what to do with ungraded items, and how you and your students should see the grades that are created in the Grades feature. You can start the Grade wizard by clicking on the Start button. Although I'm not going to walk through it right now, you will find tutorials on this from your D2L homepage. The next thing we want to do before we get into setting up and managing grades is look at schemes. In this example, I have already created a letter grade scheme. You can create your own by clicking on New Scheme. However, since I have one created already, if I click on Letter Grade, I will come to the very same screen you would have if you're creating a new one. You will need to give a name to your scheme and then start applying letter grades to the symbol. You will notice that I have entered in F, B, and A. You can continue doing this by entering in Add Ranges. For example, if I click on Add Range, I will be able to add an additional letter grade range, in this case an A+. The starting percent is relatively important. You notice that an F starts at 0, whereas a B will start at 60, an A at 90, and my A+ can start at 95. The numbers and letters I have in this example do not reflect at all your department or university settings. It is only an example to get you started with setting up your own letter grade scheme. Once you have the symbol and start percentage entered, click on Save. When you click on Save, the assigned value percentage will automatically be entered. The assigned value percentage is important if you are going to assign letter grades. For example, if I give a student a B on their assignment, that's an equivalent of giving 60%, which D2L needs to calculate a final grade. Once you are happy with your letter grade range, click on Save and Close. Next, we have Manage Grades. In Manage Grades, there's 2 things we can do. We can add new items or categories. I have added both on the example here. Assignment, midterm are both items, whereas quiz is a category. Inside the quiz category, I have assigned 4 quizzes. You will notice that assignment and midterm, I have the weightings individually, whereas the quiz category has its own weighting, and within that category, each quiz is equally weighted. So all the quizzes in the quiz category have to equal 100%, which is then applied to the 45% of the quiz category towards the final grade. The benefit of using a category is I can drop one of the lowest or highest quiz attempts by the students. For example, if a student does not do very well on quiz 1, Quiz 1 will then be dropped from their category quiz towards the final grade. You can see this when you enter a new item or new category. If I enter a new item, I can choose between a numeric, select box, which is the letter grade assignment, pass fail, formula, or calculated, or text. The most common you will find are numeric and select box and pass and fail. However, if you do want to assign a letter or a grade, make sure you use numeric or select box. Let's choose numeric for this example. When you're adding a numeric item, you want to give the item a name, in this case, I will do assignment 2. You can assign a category here if you want to. However, I won't because I don't have a category for assignment. I can give maximum points. I can also set the weighting towards the final grade. Let's make this worth 25 points at a weighting of 10%. I can exceed that 25 if I want to click on I can exceed, or I can make this item into a bonus item. So as a bonus item, only those students who complete it will get the points for it. And those who don't do it will not receive any negative or benefit from the bonus item. I can choose my grade scheme. In this case, I have percentage and letter. I'll leave it at letter. I can add a rubric if I have a rubric and set the display options. By default, the display options are generally fine. Click Save and Close. I now have a second assignment called Assignment 2. However, you'll notice at the top of the page, I get a note saying I have 110%, not 100%. So I need to change my weightings so I have a total of 100%. I can do that by selecting all and clicking Bulk Edit. You'll notice now I can change all my points, my weightings, in which I'm going to drop 10% off the midterm to 20. You also notice that the weighting for the quizzes I can't change because they belong to the quiz category. I can, however, change the grading scheme and categories of individual items. That's under the Bulk Edit option. Click Save and I return to the Manage Grades screen. I also have two other columns at the bottom, Final Calculated Grade and Final Adjusted Grade. You probably would have seen these in the Setup Wizard, and you can choose one or the other to release to students. Where the Final Calculated Grade releases the straight calculated grade based on weightings, or I can adjust final grades for each student by using the Final Adjusted Grade. Anything you do change or set in the original Setup Wizard, you can change under Settings. To show you what we can do with categories, I'm going to edit my quiz category. You can get the same screen by going under New and creating a new category. In this case, I'm going to edit the grade item. If I scroll down, you'll see the options I have for distributing grades amongst grade items in a category. I have three options. I can manually assign weightings based in the category. I can distribute the weights by points across all, or I can distribute weight evenly across all items. In the example I have 4 quiz items inside the quiz category. And because I chose distribute weight evenly across all items, each grade will be worth 25% towards the quiz category. However, I can also drop the highest or lowest number of non-bonus items for each user. So in this case, I'm going to drop the lowest quiz out of the 4 quizzes. I'll scroll down and click Save and Close. Next, I'm going to go to Enter Grades. Enter Grades allowed me to enter grades in for the student, and you'll see it looks very much like a spreadsheet. there's one very important button to be aware of. Switch to spreadsheet view and switch to standard view. By default, you probably have standard view. And standard view means you cannot enter anything into the assignments, midterms, or grade items. What you need to do is click on Switch to Spreadsheet View. In Spreadsheet View, you will now see boxes where you can enter in grades. So, I have 2 students in my course. I'm going to start entering grades. 45 out of 50 on the assignment. The midterm, I'm going to enter 85 out of 100. Quiz 1, I'll put 1. 8 for quiz 2, 10 for quiz 3, and 8 for quiz 4. Assignment 2 I'll leave alone for now. If I click Save, you'll get a note that you say, "Are you want to continue?" Yes, I do. And once I click on Save, my final grade has been updated. In this case, I have 78.5 out of 90, which is a B. If I scroll over to the right, I will see that again. You notice my final adjusted grade has not been entered yet. Grade items can also be linked to assignment Dropbox folders, quizzes, surveys. You can also upload grades from your Scantron or bubble sheet scoring system. There is an import button up here to upload grades from your Scantron. We won't go through that right now, but just so you're aware of them. The next option is to release our final grades to students. Now, I can release my final calculated grade or my final adjusted grade. We set this in the wizard. You can also change which one to release in the settings. To release our final grades to the students, you can do a couple of things. From the Enter Grade screen, you can click on the little drop-down menu for that column or grade item. You can notice you can edit, you can also grade all. If I choose grade all, I'll come to the grade all screen for final grades. You'll notice that the grades have not been released to students yet. Over on the right, where it says release final calculated grade, I can then choose which ones to release to students, or which students to release the grades to. I can also come up here under Final Grades and choose Release All. What that will do is release all grades, or all final grades, to all students. You notice that there's a checkbox now for each student in the course. What are students going to see? They're going to see the grade and the letter grade. If I click on Save, click OK, my final calculated grade has now been released to students. Now, click on Cancel, and that'll take us back to the Enter Grade screen. At this point, you will see a small icon next to the final grade, meaning final grade has been released to students. At this point, you can play around with these options yourself and try out the different column grade item types, such as the drop-down menu for letter grades or calculated grades if you want to. But thank you for viewing this tutorial. You can also return to your D2L homepage, where you can find more information using the D2L help and tutorials found under Help for Instructors. Now, to show you what a student sees, I'm going to log in as a student. I'm going to go to assessment grades, and you'll see that students have the same options for assessment grades, but what they see are their own grades. So, a student will see 78.5 out of 90. They'll see grade and they have a B. They'll also see a breakdown of all their grades. Remember when I use category, the quiz category, and I have 4 quizzes in there, and I told the category to drop the lowest quiz. You'll notice that this one here, 0 out of 0, was dropped. Also, in my grade setup wizard, I said drop ungraded items. Assignment 2 did not have a grade at all. And you notice no grade was assigned to it. It was dropped from the overall score, which is why I have 78.5 out of 90 and not out of 100. That's how dropping ungraded items work. Thank you for watching this tutorial.